And hi, it's Michigan's AutoTalk podcast. This is episode number 94, part 2 from our foray at the Michigan International Auto Show, live from DeVos Place in downtown Grand Rapids. We are recording live on Thursday night, February 2nd. This will be part 2 of a two-parter that we did at the auto show, 25th annual Michigan International Auto Show, and we always enjoy our time with Craig Piersma from Gentex. Craig is the VP of Marketing and Corporate Communications with Gentex in beautiful Zeeland, Michigan. I see the big massive vehicle out in front again.
Yeah, it's there.
So
back.
Remind us and our listeners what that beautiful beast is.
Well, it's somewhat unrecognizable because it's had so much custom work to it with fender flares and new bumpers and everything, but it's a Chevy Silverado underneath there, 2021. And then it's matched with a Vorsheer XOC, which stands for Extreme Overland Camper. Kind of a matching wrap, matching Gentex theme, but a little over the top with the trailer. We got a drone sitting up on top of it for scouting the surrounding terrain. But usually when guys walk around the back of that trailer, the first thing they see is that there's a whiskey and a cigar bar built into the back. So
yeah, that's okay.
So
no guy I know would get that thing muddy.
No,
it doesn't even need to be four-wheel drive. Forget that.
Well, there's always these little kids that are like, do you use that? It's like, well, it kind of sits in a garage most of the, but we use it for parades and things like that. So
very, very cool. So talk about Gentex technology. What is there in that vehicle? Is there anything?
Yeah.
Okay.
There is in that vehicle. I mean, we're helping the automaker kind of transition from from analog to digital rear vision, right? So our bread and butter is an automatic dimming mirror, and it automatically detects the glare.
Which was invented when?
I mean, that's like 30 years ago now. It was quite a while.
Yeah.
It seems like it's held together pretty well. It still seems like a very modern technology because it uses forward sensors and cameras and algorithms and things, and we're always improving on those. But it's been around for quite a while. It's probably on 450 vehicles around the world. We ship 40 million automatic dimming mirrors, interior and exterior, every year. Wow. But on that particular truck, and you'll see some even on the floor here, as we transition from that analog view to a digital view, is we have something called a full display mirror. And that, when you reach up and flip the little switch, it goes out of mirror mode and into display mode. So the entire mirror surface becomes a video display. And so now you're seeing, with a camera that's facing rear of the vehicle, you're seeing a bright, panoramic, unobstructed view behind the vehicle. So that's on that car, but it's also on, I think we're up to 80-some vehicles around the world that we shipped about 1.7 million of those this year.
Well, and you guys, in the past, you even had the mirrors that had the little rear view.
Yeah.
I mean,
that was the precursor.
It might be a 30-year-old auto-dimming mirror, but there's so much more. There's been all kinds of stuff built into it. OnStar buttons and this and that
Telematic
and everything
systems,
else.
microphones, lighting. I had a spreadsheet going for years, and I just stopped it. It was up to 100 different features, because if all that were sellable as individual features.
Yep.
So like you think of ADAS, like you had collision avoidance and lane departure warning, and so some of the systems, we had the camera up there for that for Ford products back in the day. So yeah, it's amazing. But to us, that mirror, because it's up on the windscreen and it's in your line of sight and your line of speech, it's up high, surrounded by glass. You can put a camera up there.
Yep.
Because of that location, we can integrate other featers, and so it's really a delivery mechanism.
As far as integrating features, I've got $2 billion ideas for you, and I only want 5%.
All right, we're about at $2 billion in sales, so you're looking at doubling our revenue here.
Okay, here we go. We got the cameras and everything else. We just need some kind of recorder, so we've got forward and rearward.
Yep.
The driver doesn't even need to see it, but you get in an accident or something, you can just boom, there you go.
I hate to tell you, but we have that already.
We
do have that already. It's already. We've been shipping that for a couple years to Toyota Harrier in Japan. So there's a couple of. It'll make its way to this market, but it's a built-in DVR, digital video recorder, built into the mirror. Yep.
Very
dollar
nice.
Late, dollar short. The second one is some way to keep the rear camera clean. We live in Michigan.
Yeah.
Now, I will tell you, my 22 F-150 has this little James Bond thing where if you wash the windshield, this nozzle comes out and it squirts water across it to keep it clean. We need one of those in the back.
Yes, they do. There are a couple companies, the name escaped me, out of Detroit, that do
I've
have
seen
that.
those that you can
And I know
them.
there's a lot of GM vehicles that will have that, shoot a little water. We've experimented with different things. There's different coatings you can use that help keep it clean. Yeah. We've toyed with vibration to shake dust and dirt off. But it's becoming one of those things. There's just more cameras around the car, and we're just going to have to get used to that.
The third one then, because he took away my first one. They already did
there's
it.
more. All right.
I want something so I can open my door with all the snow not going on my seat.
Oh.
I think that's a little air or something like that before you open it, or a different design.
Right.
Something electronic to. I hate that when you open the door and then your butt's in the seat. All wet.
I've got to ask, how does Gentex know what the consumer wants? Obviously, you're talking with automobile manufacturers. Talk about that process of knowing what is going to be the next big
it's
thing.
kind of tough in a way, because you think about Apple, and it's like most of their devices nobody was asking for. You just had they were just they created a market for it, and so it comes in from different directions. But like you said, the customer is number one, because usually the customer has a product or feature, and they're looking for a way to integrate it into the car, and we have real estate. So first and foremost is what are they trying to integrate into the car, and how can we help them? And how can we help them do that? But we do have a whole industrial design studio that's busy working on creative ways, and we do some market research here and there, try to figure out what consumers are interested in, buy a lot of the J.D. Power study, and also look for problems. Like, if you follow J.D. Power data and you look like, well, here's an issue, maybe we can integrate that better here. And so those are just a few ways we do it.
Not only do you have manufacturers coming to you and saying, hey, we need this, you're going to manufacturers and say, hey, we can make this.
Exactly, yeah.
And that's cool.
Because really it's about that real estate. I keep on coming back to that theme, but it's really, location.
Right,
That real estate, there's a reason. One of the things we're working on right now is driver monitoring, and it won't be long before it's necessary.
I can't believe this. I was just thinking this. I want something that will look at that person, and we all see this person who's got the phone in their hand, right in about the center of the steering wheel. They're driving. Yeah. I want something that Gentex will probably invent that will look at the retinas of my eyes, and if they're not staring straight forward, it'll go.
We're very far down that path. We have some development programs. It's called driver monitoring is the category, and so you're look at facial key points on the driver's face to see, are they distracted, are they drowsy, have they had a sudden illness?
I got to tell you, that's life-saving technology.
And that will be eventually, if not legislated, it'll be it's called NCAP, the New Car Assessment Program. And so you'll be incentivized to put that on vehicles.
I love this.
But then beyond that,
down insurance.
Exactly. Yeah. Beyond that, then you start looking at cabin monitoring. So you're looking at within the cabin, and you're looking at passengers and behavior and things like that. And so again, that mirror location is ideal because we can put a camera behind the glass up there. The microprocessor algorithms all contained there. And now an automaker, instead of having to retool an overhead console or a dashboard, they just put a mirror in.
Snap it on your
button.
And
now you've got that system. So that's one of the things we're working with on automakers. We expect to have some programs out there with probably 3 to 5 years or so.
I had an issue with we put an engine in a vehicle for a local body shop where somebody was in an accident, and they sat there and they let the engine run as all the oil and antifreeze was spilling across the road, and it blew up. And we put an engine in it and got it back together, and there was one little issue, and we got that taken care of. A couple months later, I get a call from the body shop. She's having this issue. And she said that she goes, the car was slowing down and she didn't have any response. And I go in with a scanner and find out that it was the lane.
Oh, sure. Right.
Lane departure thing. After it goes off so many times, it's going, put both hands on the wheel and drive straight, or we're going to put you in a limp mode. And that's all it was. Yep. And I had to call up the dad and go, hey, I know you bought this brand new vehicle to keep your daughter from bugging you about her car doesn't work and everything else, but the only thing I can find with it is that she's just on her phone or doing something, not staying in her lane, and it got pissed off, and it just said, that's it, we're putting you in limp mode.
And that's part of those integrating those features in a way that doesn't irritate the consumer, right? You want, yes, it's going to help with safety, but it has to be done in a way that you're not bothering somebody or,
Annoyance.
Craig Piersma is VP of Marketing and Communications with Gentex. You can learn more at gentex.com. I've got to ask you, because when you were with us last year at the Michigan International Auto Show, where we are here in February 2023, jobs were really a big focus. And I still see the Gentex boards across West Michigan. Are you still hiring people? Is talent still an issue?
It definitely is. Yeah, it's definitely still an issue. It seems like, especially coming out of COVID, people just disappeared into the ether, where they all. Every industry's having that problem. We've done a number of creative things the last couple of years, culminating in an announcement just yesterday that we're actually going to be opening an assembly plant here in Grand Rapids proper. So
very cool.
In the 49507 Madison Square neighborhood.
Which is there's more story to that than we know.
Yeah, well,
because there's all these buildings downtown that can be bought cheap. You can go out to the outlying areas and buy land and build new. But you guys chose. I mean, you're building something in a community where probably your employees are going to live. But I mean, you're going to rejuvenate this country or this community through an industrial standpoint. And that's the first thing I got when I read that. It's just like, how cool is that company?
That's the idea. I mean, we know what the cost of gasoline is like. Yeah. We know what the cost of operating a vehicle, if you can get one, even in the used car market. And so we can't expect people to drive all the way out to Holland and Zeeland from Grand Rapids. So let's put something. We're actually going to lease a facility, about a 30,000 square foot facility, and it's right in the middle of a neighborhood. There's along 2 bus routes, and so that way you can get people from that area and hopefully keep some of the benefit, there's the jobs, the income, help the local businesses around the area, and we get more workers.
That's so smart and so cool. Forward-thinking company. I love it.
I absolutely love it. Craig Piersma. Always enjoy talking to you. Again, you can learn more at gentex.com. Craig is the VP of Marketing and Communications for Gentex. Hey, thanks for stopping by.
But you can't go until you tell us about your first car.
I always did this. I did
this his idea.
Come on, man.
Craig Piersma, we need your first car. Honest to goodness truth.
I guess the first one I bought with my own money.
Yeah, not driving mom's
was
car.
Like a '79 Honda Prelude, I think. I got
nice car.
out of college. That was my first ride. Those things were so small that at my size I had to put that seat all the way back. So it was.
But they ran and ran and ran.
Oh, it did. If you kept oil in it, it did. But that was a great buy.
Yeah. Yep. Love it. Thanks so much for stopping by.
Certainly.
Appreciate it.
Craig Piersma from Gentex. Again, you can learn more at gentex.com. Now we're going to switch to SAE World and speak with Andrew Redder. Andrew is with Western Michigan University, the Society of Automotive Engineers at WMU. And I don't know, Andrew, are you the chapter president? What's your title?
So my name's Andrew Redder, as you said, and my title is chief engineer for the team.
Okay. Awesome.
So you're a Western employee?
A student.
You're a student. Okay. Do you guys do the off-road thing and the road thing, or just?
Yes. So Western Michigan has an entire chapter SAE, which has both Formula SAE and Baja SAE.
Okay.
Now Baja, they actually have their car here as well. They just finished their latest car last week. Actually, competed at Michigan Tech and finished, passed Tech, all that stuff. Yeah, both cars are here today. Week.
And you're going electric for 2023.
That is the goal, yes.
And other schools aren't. So is there a formula? You get a weight break or something for electric versus gas, or how does that all work?
Nope. So first of all, for going EV, we're actually building 2 cars this year.
Okay.
This is hopefully going to be our last year for IC, and we'll be kicking off our first dive into EV development. Mm-hmm. As far as like pros and cons, the biggest thing is the industry is leading towards EV, and Formula SAE as a whole leads is teaching all these student engineers how to apply themselves to industry as it is today and how it will be tomorrow. And with the current trend being towards EV development as a whole, it's in our best interest to make the switch now while we can still be ahead of it.
Okay. Well, it's, from what I understand, a highly competitive deal because you race against schools all over the country or North America for that matter. The world. Okay. And if you, I guess, most racing, it's like you're running an IC, here's your parameters, weight, this, that, and you're running an EV. Do they even have those yet, or are you guys just
like different
striking
classes
out on your own and doing something?
So as far as is, so every year they give us about 200-page rule book, SAE does. And
Wow.
the only difference really between the IC and the EV development is your powertrain system.
Okay.
Like I can reuse all my suspension, chassis, aero components, all that stuff, driving controls even, that can be reused between both vehicles.
Okay.
And they're going to be identical, those systems between both cars.
Okay.
The only difference is our EV power plant versus our internal combustion engine. And the biggest thing with EV over IC is the safety protocols for it.
Okay.
Like when you're putting about 400 plus volts through a vehicle that's made of steel and other conductive materials like carbon fiber, driver safety is number one as a whole.
Yeah.
And even more so with EV.
Okay.
So what gave you the bug? It had to start young. Maybe your dad, uncle, family member, where you just started to rip stuff apart and put them back together.
Yeah, so my family as a whole has been a lot of do-it-yourselfers. My grandfather was actually a mechanic at both Steelcase back when the Pyramid was here in Grand Rapids.
Yep.
And then my dad always taught us how to fix stuff yourself.
Very nice.
Me
And
too.
growing up on a farm, you had to work with farm equipment, and if your vehicle was having issues, you tried to fix it yourself before it went to the shop.
Did you have the fastest tractor in your block? I'm guessing.
No,
No.
no.
Okay. On the days when Formula E races, does the team get together and buy a keg? Are you a fan of Formula E?
Not as much as Formula One.
Okay. Well, yeah.
I will say
You're engineer, we're techs,
exactly, yeah.
I will say there's a lot more hype and build up behind the excitement of Formula One than Formula E.
Yep.
Like Formula E is like venturing into competing with EV and proving its sustainability in that field.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
So you are
Favorite
part
F1
of
driver.
Western's College.
Esteban Ocon.
You're a part of Western's College of Engineering and Applied Sciences. How do people get into Formula SAE at Western?
So we're a student organization, and we usually start our recruitment cycle at the beginning of the school year in the fall.
Okay.
Usually we will throw a bunch of flyers and posters all around the school. We'll be there's a lot of beginning of the year events to introduce new incoming students, transfer students, and everyone is coming back to campus of what's available at Western. And the biggest one, Bronco Bash, they have a massive block party for all the student organizations on campus. We'll show up in the campus mall, and we're there. We have our booth set up, and we actually had racing sims this year, and that was a pretty big draw.
Oh, cool.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Very nice.
we actually got we actually had a little competition going with the campus police as well on the sims.
Who could get away?
Yeah.
Well, and it looks like your numbers are growing from
Yeah.
the PowerPoint we got.
That's very exciting.
So how many guys do you have on your team, or like
People.
Sorry. Yes,
sure there's
I'm
women.
so
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, so I first joined the team in fall of 2018, and we had about 10 to 12 members who were active. Now I've seen that number grow to around 40, 45 members.
Cow. Okay.
Yeah, it's steadily growing. COVID, we definitely took a hit, and we had a few massive graduations. But this year, we had our largest recruitment cycle in recent history.
Nice.
And you're the chief engineer
That's
with
correct.
Formula SAE at Western Michigan University. We can't let you go, Andrew. You're not done until you tell us what the first car you had, or your first car that you drove.
The first car I drove was a 1986 Ford F-250.
Oh,
That was your dad's, right?
Yes.
What's your first car?
My first car was a 2006 Ford Fusion.
Okay.
oh, it's a nice
Sensible.
car. It's a nice car. Was the F-250 a stick or an automatic?
It was an automatic.
Okay. I was going to say, I would have given you major points if it was manual.
Oh, no.
If he's playing around with driving tractors,
The
like,
citation with a manual where he had to put his own clutch in, he wins
Yeah.
tonight.
I mean, to be fair, we did have our own drive your tractor to school day every year, and that was a pretty big deal.
Yeah. Nice.
Like, you'd see traffic all backed up on that day, and so everyone would know you leave an hour early if you want to make it in time.
I love it.
So are the Formula SE events, are those open to the public?
Yes, they are.
We can go watch them?
That's correct.
Okay, and I'm sure they have a website or something we can go to with the
Yeah,
schedule?
where can our listeners learn more about you guys?
Yeah, so if you go on to Google and search up Western Michigan University Bronco Racing, one of the first links should be to our website,
Okay.
www.broncoracing.com. Sometimes it'll get confused with other sites, but if you search Western Michigan first, it'll show up.
Type in Western Michigan. You guys also have a Facebook page.
And
I know as
Instagram.
well. Okay, and Instagram, so check it out. He is Andrew Redder, Chief Engineer with the WMU Formula SAE racing with us on Michigan's Auto Talk. Andrew, thanks for stopping by.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
We're at Michigan's International Auto Show in downtown Grand Rapids at DeVos Place. It's interesting as they get younger how the new car gets, the first car gets a lot newer. Yeah, especially when you're talking 2007
I had an
Ford
old,
Fusion.
really old 1996 something.
Yeah, so much for that. That's going to put the wraps on this episode, guys. Any final thoughts as we wrap up?
Come down and check it out. I mean, it's Thursday night, so things are slow down here. But the electric we got, things you only see on TV, a Volkswagen, a Maserati, an Audi, a Nissan Leaf that looks different than any Nissan I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yep.
A lot of stuff down here, and it looks pretty good to me.
Yeah.
We're checking it out. Michigan International Auto Show. And again, you can learn more. Showspan is the website, showspan.com, or just Google Michigan International Auto Show. You'll find everything you need to know. We want to thank Don Baker and the team at the Michigan International Auto Show. That'll put the wraps on this episode of Michigan's Auto Talk. Don't forget to like our Facebook page. And until next time, I'm producer Phil Tower.
I'm Al Schwinkendorf.
I'm John Puick. Thanks for listening.